Hey guys, so last time we were together, we covered select and mask, refine edge, and then you created your clipping mask on that same um, background picture. So that's where we left off. So right now, you can see we have in Photoshop our figure, our mask, and then I've already gone File, Place Linked, and put in the picture up here that we're going to be exposing on top of our headshot. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my visibility on. And last time we talked about making this mask the same up here. And again, how we do that is you click on the mask and then command click, select your top layer, and then hit your mask again. And then there you have your second mask on top of your background picture. Now, it's kind of up to you whether you want it to be like this or on top. But either way, you're going to be erasing or masking in and out parts of your picture, and it just kind of is a matter of what you think looks better. So let's start up here on our top layer, and I'm going to make sure that's on black, and B for brush. My brush mode is on overlay right now. I'm going to change it back to normal. My opacity is 30%, and my general rule is low and slow when you're painting and stuff like that. So it gives you more control. You don't want something to look like a hole punch. So I'm going to mask back in most of his face. We'll kind of see. And again, if you change your mind, you're like, oh, actually, I want the stars to be the whole bottom part of his face. And I went too much with my mask, then that's fine. Just change your black to white on top and it will bring your stars back in. Okay. So I like that, but I feel like it looks a little bit flat down there. So I'm going to bring back in some of this face. And then I'm going to kind of work the hair so it's gradually fading. And I like the way the stars sort of make it look like a brain on top. That's pretty good. You can be really picky, believe me, and spend a lot of time doing this. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with it, like this. Yeah, I don't want too much, just a little bit. That's a lot. Okay, so once I've gotten to a point where I'm kind of happy with the way that the pictures are combining, then it's time to add in my regular adjustment layers. So on top of both of these things, I'm going to add my levels and curves adjustment layer. holding my Option key down, bringing in my output sliders just to the edge of the histogram, and I'm going to do that for every color channel. So you notice that I started with red, and then I went to green, and now I'm going to blue. And you can see the range of values is changing dramatically with this picture. And I like it like that. Makes it a little bit more dramatic. Then I'm going to do my curves. Highlights up, lowlights down, making that very slight S-curve. It's kind of my goal. The only issue with levels and curves is sometimes you do lose a tiny bit of information. So then I'm going to go back into my levels and just with my brush, I'm going to take out right here. See how it lightens the eye a lot? Yeah. Same thing with the hair. I just don't want to lose information. And then same thing with curves, we'll see. That's better. It's kind of like back to the original picture. Okay, now more fun times. After this is kind of where it's at, I have my masks. The pictures are blending nicely on top of each other. I did my levels and curves. I'm going to actually Command click on my selection again. Add a new layer, and then on this layer I'm going to paint with a paintbrush. Let's see, what color am I going to use? Let's do, I want to stay in the same pink, red. I like that. Okay. And now I'm literally going to paint on top of him, but because I have an active selection, it's only going to paint in that space and nowhere else. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my brush mode to something else here. Now I don't know what it's going to look like until I do it. That's darken. It's okay. Actually, I kind of like that. Now I'm going to change this blending mode to something else. And just see, ooh, I like that. It's a little red, but I still like it because you have to think about this as kind of a piece of art. It's not necessarily trying to stay true to the photo. Okay, now one more fun thing that I'm going to show you, which is super crazy. Photoshop actually does this thing called symmetry painting. So if you add a new layer, and again you're painting with a paintbrush, and I'm going to use black, and actually I'm going to end up bringing it back in the background. So it's going to cover his face first. Alright, and now I'm going to change my brush to something more fun. Let's do Kyle's Ultimate Pastel Palooza. I don't know if that's going to look good, but we're going to see. Okay, now, see this butterfly guy right here? This is Symmetry Options. And I'm going to go to, you can try all sorts of ones, but let's just do vertical. And say, okay, and now watch. Isn't it crazy? So it's painting symmetrically. You almost can't make a bad drawing. But I don't love my brush. It's funky. Oh, that's worse. There we go. Isn't that fun? And let's try a different, well, brush, chunky charcoal. Impressionist blender, that looks fun. Okay. Oh, it's telling me that it can't do symmetry with this one, which is fine. How about, okay. So some brushes are not supported with the symmetry, and that's fine. Let's go on to a more basic one. Pencil hard? Yeah. And again, just bringing up and opacity. Yeah, I like that. I'm just trying to get like a variety of textures. And we're going to go back, bring it down, opacity up again. And fun fact about painting, if you click and then shift click, it will create a straight line. So sometimes it's fun to mix like the organic with the geometric. So this is so much, right? And you have to think like, oh, she's totally covering up this guy's face completely. And that's true. But I'm going to put it in the background. So after I'm done, I'm going to drag this layer all the way behind there. So that's what it looks like right now. Now, I would say that this overall composition is really busy. There's a lot of information in the background and the foreground. So moving forward, I think I would maybe keep this more simple and not as black. But I just wanted to show you that symmetry feature because it's so cool. So just remember, brush, and then it's the butterfly right up here. So that is double exposure. There's even more crazy fun things you can do. You can click on your layer and go filter, blur, and you can just do like a Gaussian blur over the whole background, and look at that. Isn't that awesome? That's a lot, but this is like where you were. This is all the way up. It's blurring to the point where it's just mixing the colors. So fun. All right. And that's it.